In today's video I show you how I built this fully animated website using only AI. This is a scroll jacking website, which means that the page eases to a stop and lands softly on each section, and the video and the animations play in one single motion while you scroll. It feels like one continuous animated shot, but these are actually multiple visuals stitched together, and all of them were generated with AI. I built this entire website with only two things, with Lovart and with Claude Code. And I'd like to quickly thank Lovart for sponsoring this video. Lovart is an AI aggregator that gives you access to all the newest AI image and video generators in one single place, so you don't need a separate subscription for each one. And I created every visual in this website with Lovart using the Seedance 2.0 model for the videos. And I used Fable 5 for the build for the site itself. And even though this video is sponsored, I'll be honest about what did and what didn't work along the way. And make sure to stick around till the end, because I prepared a small free gift for you as a thank you for watching. I almost always start with a design in Figma to lock down the visual concept. And I use these designs later in Claude Code as reference images that I'll upload alongside my text prompt. And this way I am the most in control of how the results will look. So I created 6 sections in total, and because they are for reference purposes only, they do not have to look perfect. Each image shows the start frame for that section. And these designs are to clearly show the design and structure that I'm going for, which I'll also describe more in a detailed prompt later on. A few design choices I do want to point out. Here I used an off-white background instead of pure white, because it makes the whole site feel a bit warmer and it matches the warm tones of the visuals better. For the typeface I used the Cormorant font, which is a free Google font, and I used it both for the headings and for the body text. I just styled it in different ways to create hierarchy. And here in this one section the background image is dark, so I switched the text to a white to keep it legible. Now that the concept is clear, let me show you how I created the visuals, and I dive a little bit more into what makes Lovart different from other aggregator sites. Lovart is built around an infinite canvas, so instead of organizing everything in folders or a grid, you have all your visuals sitting on one single canvas. It feels a lot like how I use Figma, where I just dump in a bunch of assets into one place and then build from there. And you can click any image and then just upscale it, remove the background, erase parts, or ask for more angles without ever leaving the canvas. This also means that it can get cluttered fast, so what I do to keep it tidy is draw a rectangle somewhere on the canvas and then drag only the images that I actually want to keep into the rectangle. Everything else I just leave where it is. The infinite canvas combined with the access to an AI agent is where it becomes especially powerful. Instead of clicking through buttons and menus to switch between models or set a ratio, you can just talk to an agent and ask for it. So I can select a single image on the canvas and ask for 10 variations, or select 2 images and ask for a video between them. And this is perfect for character and product consistency, and this is also how I made these visuals. I started with a prompt for an image of a modern villa in a warm setting with a background haze and a soft sun flare, and then from that single image I just asked for more shots within the same photo shoot. Same lighting, same setting, only different angles. And I asked it to make around 10 at a time, and it just creates them in batches of 5 without any issues. So that way I was able to move really fast. And one thing that's worth mentioning is that because you're prompting for everything instead of clicking buttons, it's easy to forget a detail. And for videos that matters, because video generation costs a lot of credits. So for the video specifically, I actually chose the video generation menu instead of talking to the agent, which is possible with the selector button at the bottom here. And in this menu you can clearly see the settings, like the fact that Seedance can go up to 15 seconds, and you can even see exactly how many credits a video will cost before you commit to it. And that's information that you don't get when you just prompt to the agent. Then I ordered the images on the canvas in the exact sequence that I wanted the final website to flow. I already had the idea in my mind. I start with the drawing, then I make it realistic, then the transition into the top-down view, and then that turns into a floor plan. Next into a 3/4 angle, then into night, and then finally back into a wider daytime shot. For these pairs here I selected the 2 frames and asked for a specific transition between them. In some cases I just asked for a different angle, and in other cases I asked for something more specific, like a top-down view or a zoom out. And since each video ends on a frame that you can reuse, I use that last frame as a start frame for the next one, and so on. Each new video begins exactly where the last one ended, so you can chain them into one long continuous shot. For the video model I use Seedance 2.0, and it comes in a few versions, including a fast model and a mini model. And the mini model can be up to 5 times cheaper, But here you can see the faster model versus the state-of-the-art one. And the faster one costs 70 credits and the better one costs 200 for this specific video. So that's a real difference there, but the more expensive one just felt calmer to me. On the faster one, the dust clouds came out of nowhere and it felt a little forced, like the model was pushing hard to reach the end frame that I gave it. So after that, I only used the flagship model instead. I rendered the videos in 1080p and not in 4K because the videos were going straight onto a website where I would shrink the file size anyway. Seedance has become one of the most reliable, if not the most reliable AI video generators, and in my experience it did almost everything that I asked for at once. And it really shows how far AI video generators have come in such a short period of time, and I was very happy with how these visuals ended up, and now I have everything that I need to start building the actual website in Claude Code. To build the site, I first made a folder on my computer for all the website files, and inside it I placed a second folder called Visuals. In this Visuals folder I dropped all the images and the videos I generated in Lovart, and then in the Claude Mac app I went to the Claude Code tab, I started a new session and I pointed it at the project folder that I just created. After that I selected Fable 5 as the model and pasted in my text prompt. And I want to briefly walk you through how that prompt is built, especially the structure is what makes it work. I start the prompt with a goal, a single page website for an architecture studio with lots of animations, and I tell it right away that I want scroll jacking. Scroll jacking is worth explaining because it's the heart of this whole site, so normally when you scroll the page moves freely, but with scroll jacking the page eases to a stop and then lands softly on each section. So you scroll, it settles, you scroll again, it settles again, and the scroll is what drives the videos playing. And then I tell it where the visuals are located, and I describe the loading screen first, the logo centered and the drawing fading in, and from there I describe every section from top down one by one. And this is important, and I always go strictly top to bottom and I never jump back to an earlier session halfway through, because jumping around here prompt can really confuse the build. And Fable 5 is clever enough to figure out a lot from one clear prompt, but only if that prompt is ordered cleanly. So for each section I mention the text and I describe the design and I describe the in animation, meaning how it transitions in from the section before it. After the sections I add a block named Global Behavior and Motion, which is where I put the things that don't belong to one single section. So this is where I describe the handoffs of the videos, meaning where each video's end frame matches the next one's start frame, so the switch is invisible. And this is what makes it feel like one continuous motion, like one video from start to end. I also described the navigation here, that I want a static navigation at the top and not fixed, and I ask for no audio on the videos. And then one instruction that makes a real difference, I ask it to convert the videos into WebM files. And WebM is just a video format that's much lighter for the web, which ensures that your site loads and scrolls smoothly. And the nice part is that you don't have to do this yourself. If you ask Claude to do it for you, it will actually download and install the right tool and convert all the video files for you. And then I end this prompt with the design tokens, so the exact background color, the font sizes for the titles and the headings, and the fonts themselves. And I don't write a long prompt like this out by hand. I talk through the whole thing out loud into a voice transcriber, one called Paraspeech, and then I ask Claude to turn that into one clean structured prompt, and it hands me back one long prompt that I just drop straight into Claude Code alongside the visuals. So that's the full build, a single page animated website for an architecture studio, made entirely with AI from a set of separated videos tied into one seamless motion. And I had a lot of fun with this project and I'm really happy with how the final website turned out. And as promised, here's the free gift. I've added the website files, all the visuals that I made in Lovart, and a full Notion document with all the prompts that I used into a free download in the description in this video. And I also added a link to Lovart in the description in case you want to check it out. Thank you for watching and I hope to see you in the next one.